Welcome to another Packaging Europe podcast. I'm Tim Sykes, and I'm delighted today to catch up with an old friend, Michael Nieuwesteeg. Michael will be speaking at the forthcoming Sustainable Packaging Summit in Amsterdam on the 12th and 13th of November. But also he's an old friend, collaborator, and really a valued supporter of ours, and a really important voice within the world of packaging. And it's a friendship that I think we've built and a collaboration that we've built on a shared conviction that our industry needs to talk honestly about what really matters for the future of packaging, and also that we need to be outward looking and collaborative and reach across international boundaries in what we do. So without further ado, I welcome and introduce Michael Nieuwesteeg.
Hello, Tim. Great to meet you here. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thanks for joining the podcast. So, Michael, a personal detail here that you take lessons in jazz improvisation, and also that you are someone who it's very hard to keep on script when we're talking to each other. So today we're going to be quite informal and not very scripted. Yeah, I've always seen you as kind of the John Coltrane of the world of packaging.
Okay, so he's still alive?
He's immortal in my view, but yeah.
Okay. But responding to that opening move, as people would say in chess, I'm a total amateur, but improvisation, you can do it, but then you only can do it like John Coltrane, like anybody, when you really know what you are doing. So I think there's a great parallel with and NVC Packaging Center and Packaging Europe, you know. Of course, every news item is new, but the structure where you systematically try to find the trends in the industry and try to describe them, that's not new. So the parallel is very, very nice, Tim. Yeah, we
Thank
have
you.
to
Yeah.
improvise as an industry, we have to innovate, we have to adapt, but we only can innovate, adapt, improvise successfully when we know what we are talking about. And the
Indeed.
same goes for music. If you really see the underlying structure of any jazz music or classical music or fusion or pop music, there is a whole load of rules and ideas and do's nots behind it that these people use to make it into a once and forever improvised piece of music.
Very wise comments, Michael. So consistent with my promise that we'd be very unstructured, I failed to say who Michael is and what he does. I guess most of our listeners may well know him already, but Michael is the lead at NVC Packaging Center. Could you tell us a little bit, just broadly, about your activities in that role?
Yeah. So, um, as you say, we are based in the Netherlands, but we were founded in 1953. Yeah, as an association of all the businesses that show an interest in packaging, and there we start with the activity of packaging. Yeah, so I would say in English, filling. Packing, filling, doing it. And since then, actually, if you look to most of our outings, we are NVC Packaging Center all over the world in terms of reach. Yeah, the companies are also totally international, as you already stated in your intro. It reaches from the big retailers up to the major manufacturers of even raw packaging materials. But with more than 500 member companies now, 71 years later, yeah, we try to bind everybody together on reliable information sharing, on doing joint innovation projects, in being world class in our business education and courses field, and meeting the professionals all over the place, like at conferences like yours, or like at Interpack, or like at other exhibitions. Yeah. So nicely with the roots in 1953 in the tiny city of Gouda, the Netherlands, we are now 540 member companies. Yeah, I would say with a sort of a global reach.
Yeah, and I can testify to that global reach. It's Netherlands is a relatively small country, but very much outward looking and innovative, and those qualities are very clear within NVC. And one of the things that we always pay close attention to is your packaging innovation competition, and also your broader activity as a kind of antenna for innovation. So I know that the next edition of the Gouden Noot, if I've pronounced the Dutch correctly,
Hooray, Tim.
the
Hooray.
golden nut,
Walnut, yeah,
the
perfect.
golden walnut,
Yeah.
is coming to its climax. We're going to be finding out the winners of this year's edition. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, and with pleasure, Tim. So every 2 years, this contest is being organized by NVC, but we don't influence to any extent the outcome. And actually, there are no sponsors, there are no third parties involved. It's just running the contest. Actually, it relates also to what I just described on NVC Packaging Center as a global association of companies. Yeah, we don't even have many categories. We only have one winner. So the concept of the Gouden Noot, which indeed translates into the golden walnut, which relates to the trophy, which is really a solid gold walnut, yeah, is only one winner. The most innovative one that has been there over the past 2 years, and that has been decided by an independent jury that takes 6 months of judgments in 2 different stages to get to only one winner. And that single one winner, he or she walks out with a solid gold trophy out of the award ceremony location, the venue, is the one that we support, including, of course, the other 9 finalists. Now, why do we do only one winner? Because there's also one NVC Packaging Center, because packaging as an activity has all these elements inherently integrated in what's being done. So we are proud and enthusiastic and inspired by the fact that we every 2 years we set up a sort of an Olympic game of packaging, where you really only are forced to go to the ultimate holistic innovative packaging, instead of having many categories, let's say on materials or on design or on application, you say maybe cosmetics or maybe pharma. Yeah. And it brings, in conclusion, a lot of benefit to the industry, but also back to us as association, because the companies spend so much effort in explaining to the whole jury why they should want to win the solid gold, that the whole industry learns from their efforts. And you will see it on the 10th of October as well. They will all be able to give these 10 finalists the reasons why they went to stage. And finally, I think the viewers might also then agree, okay, and this is the most innovative one. So that's why we are so enthusiastic about it. That's I'm also happy that you will also relay the live stream of the award ceremony to the audience. Yeah, it's free. It costs us a lot of money to organize it, but it benefits the whole of the industry and also our NVC, because it brings us a lot of inherent knowledge on what innovation is going on throughout the industry.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately the most important reason, isn't it, for holding these kinds of rigorously judged competitions. Yes. It's not primarily about giving a golden walnut to someone. It's about communicating to the whole industry where the important areas of innovation are and what sets the standard. And from that point of view, all of the 10 finalists, I'm sure, will provide an example that we all should be looking at.
Yeah, and maybe then building on your very elegant and professional reflection, Tim, I really appreciate to mention one name, Professor René Wever. He is the chairman of the 20-person jury, and he manages to get 20 different professionals from all over Europe to one unified opinion on who should be gold, silver, bronze, and the other 7 finalists after the first round, where the rest is also being discussed in a harmonious manner. So they never do it by voting. They go by unanimity. They just talk until they have a unanimous, how do you say this, vision of the jury. So I really appreciate repeating even the name Professor René Wever from Jönköping University in Sweden. And secondly, I would like to very shortly highlight the process, because first the companies have a possibility to join, to register. Then there is a 2-day first jury round where the jury members on the first day have their own individual scoring. But on the second day, they come back to that big venue and they have to explain to the other colleagues in the jury why they have given the specific scores, which makes it also for a jury member quite heavy, because you just cannot give a score and don't expect that somebody else doesn't see it. Then everything has been published. So a lot of reflections then come back. And then the second jury round, which is 4 months later, that has now been done. Every finalist is invited to give a 30-minute pitch to the fully assembled jury in a venue why they should win gold. So it's really serious business. And now ending this with a joke, also for the audience. You know, we were founded in the Netherlands in 1953. The trophy is nearly a 5-figure amount in euros, in money. So we only make one. It's too expensive to make two. We really have had it once. Somebody won. I said, oh, could you have another one? Because I developed this together with my partner. No, there's only one. Each time we make a unique new one with solid gold inside, which is really qualified by the Royal Waarborg Holland Assay Office, European Assay Office. The trophy is worth the price of a new Chinese electric car.
So do I assume that a lot of the winners are keeping their trophies safe in the vault of Swiss banks somewhere in Zurich?
So do I like to assume as well. And as we both know in journalism, never check a good story to death.
Indeed. Okay. Well, great. Well, I'm really looking forward to tuning in to the Gouden Noot ceremony, and we will share details through the packaging network of how those who are not attending the event in Amsterdam in person can tune in virtually.
Yeah. Concluding that, sorry, Tim, for the clarity also, dear listeners. So we are in a very nice, what you can see, it's called the Amsterdam Tower. But in the tower, we are there with all the finalists, with all the juries, with the top people of the association. Yeah. So it's not a dinner where you can buy tickets for. So we don't make any money by it. We just spend. But the live stream is free. So you can just have your own dinner at home. You can have your own dinner at home nicely. You can do at home what you like, or at the office. And then you can just watch the live stream for free without any cost, which is starting at what I just said, 7:30 Central European time in 1.5 hours.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So let's move on to another topic. So as I mentioned, Michael will be joining us at the Sustainable Packaging Summit the summit takes place on the 12th and 13th. He will be speaking on the 13th of November, and on a topic which is really, again, speaking to this area of innovation that we've been talking about, but specifically about artificial intelligence. And Michael, I know that NVC has been conducting at least a couple of pieces of research around the impact and the opportunities of AI. Can you tell us a bit about the work that you've been doing in this area?
Yeah, with extreme pleasure, Tim. And just cut me off when I get too enthusiastic. It's like when the improvisation is going on and the public
We
wants to
don't
go
want
home.
the drum solo to go on for 5 minutes, do we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just switch off the sound. That's the way
Yeah.
to do it in concert then. Okay, so one step back. Where do Packaging Europe and where do NVC Packaging Center unite in sharing reliable, up-to-date insights on our beautiful, super complex, super wide industry? Now, from that perspective, when you see that artificial intelligence is coming up, yeah, the first interest is, of course, oh, how do we maintain the integrity of our business information? But positively framed, how can we accelerate the better understanding and the flow of knowledge into the industry? Yeah. So we decided to do our general meeting of members last November, last year, totally focused on artificial intelligence. We had 2 super keynote lectures from a big, the leading people, and we spent the whole afternoon in 3 parallel sessions with nearly 100 member companies, applying AI in education, applying AI in business information, and applying AI in automation, machinery, in packaging, filling. That was such a success that we said, okay, we want to pursue this path. Let's find new things. And now to November, the Packaging Summit, the Packaging Europe Summit. So it was a sort of a lucky shot that in one of the graduation projects that we were supporting, there was a very clever person. Her name is Fahime Pourmouhadi, and she graduated on the application of AI in enabling and augmenting handheld scanners to quickly recognize a lot of different sorts of plastics in plastic waste.
Mm.
And Tim, that's why we were there. So that's where we met her. And she graduated highest in class. She holds a degree in Iran and she holds a degree now in the Netherlands, 2 university degrees on data science and AI. And then we said, could we hire you? And she said yes. And we have hired her for the next 4 months. And that has been now completed. Yeah. And she has done a lot of study together with our team on applying and the potential of AI in the packaging industry. And we have decided, based on the invitation by you, Tim, that we will share with the audience the outcome of all our findings there. Yeah. And also at that day, we will introduce the report to be written by Fahime Pourmouhadi, Sarah Anker, and me as the third supporting author. So I'm incredibly enthusiastic to try to share on the 13th of November all our findings from this incredibly clever researcher who found astonishing, things for us at least, and to share the perspective with the industry, with the whole audience, and then also hopefully to have a nice debate on where the positive elements are, where the opportunities are, and where the threats are, and where the no-goes are.
Mm.
I'm really happy that you invited us to do this.
Thank you. Well, we're really looking forward to this, and I think for everyone, it's such an embryonic area of technology that there's so many unanswered questions and questions which raise new questions.
Yeah.
So as a point of intellectual curiosity, it's fascinating, but also it's something that, as you say, there are opportunities, risks, some even existential risks that we need to really think about when it comes to AI, and therefore it's something that we really need to be talking about as much as possible and sharing across industry, all of the different perspectives that we have around this. Maybe I could ask you where you see broadly the sort of balance. Are you more fixated on the opportunities, and where do you see maybe the key opportunities, or more focused on the dangers that can be part of that?
Tim, and also the audience, we just started with the Gouden Noot, so with innovation. And when you look there and also the finalists, basically innovation is about breaking the rule. We started with improvisation. Basically, when John Coltrane starts to play something, or now any improvisation, it's new. But we also said it's based on rules. So even the question is difficult by dividing it into opportunities and threats. So we maybe even need to invent a new word that describes when something is new, that it is wanted to be new there. Let's say, as an example, you could do anything with data and privacy, of course. If it's used in medicine, that you are easily diagnosed to have a potential disease and that your packaging, labeling, and the patient information leaflet and some form of interaction allows you to better understand how to take your medication, that's a good thing. On the other hand, if the same data are then used by your employer to fire you because they say, hey, basically you didn't tell us that you have this and this nasty disease coming up, then you have a problem. So I think on the 13th of November, we can nicely describe the relevant areas in our packaging domain where we have opportunities and threats. And then together we have to set a sort of a, guidance on which context we allow to be these results to be implemented.
Indeed.
That's my best answer I can give, Tim. And even if we would have pre-scripted it for the audience, for you as a listener at home or in the office, this podcast has not been scripted. So per definition, it is the way we now talk to each other. It's really live. But even when it would have been scripted, I couldn't have given a better answer.
Yeah. And I think that brings home the fact that the answer to that question is as much about ethics and human discussion as it is about technology, isn't it?
Yeah, and that also, in that way, to all our, I would say, to our comfort, that's the same for any innovation. Because an innovation has never been there, so it has something that has been a wow effect. As Professor René Wever then always says, okay, so this is something that you really say, huh? Did they do it so simple so that it is so clever, But then, of course, I mean, let's go back to basics and maybe as even a full look back to your sustainability packaging summit, 12, 13 November. Was the invention of the PET bottle good or bad for mankind? We invented it. I mean, I think it's from the 1960s, PET bottles. Was it good or was it bad? Because I don't know that answer, good or bad. Nobody knows it. But when they are on the beach out of control, we have created a problem. But when the same bottle would be used to feed a baby with essential food, or put it in a medicine or a nutritional value, for maybe for an elderly lady who needs additional supplements, then it's good. So it's not about so much politics. By the way, NVC Packaging Center is totally not political, not at all. But it's a good illustration that even an all-day example of a simple packaging thing, when you look back to the time that it wasn't here yet, always has two aspects. I mean, this is a PET bottle, but if I would say tape, closing tape, also has been invented. Sometime it wasn't there, and now it's here. Was it good? Was it bad? Okay, I don't know. It depends on the context. That would be my honest answer, and that also is nice to have that debated here in this little podcast as a precursor for the summit on the 12th and 13th November. That's why your summit is so great, because maybe things are good today that used to be bad in the past. Maybe things are looking bad today that used to be good in the past. Yes, we can learn from that.
And we all need to align around how we use things and how we ensure that the impacts of what we do are positive.
Yeah, and it's continuously changing, Tim. And that's why we need Packaging Europe, and that's why you need NVC Packaging Center. Tomorrow is different from yesterday. We have to act based on reliable information and on friendship and on cooperation to make the future a little bit better, learning from the past.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a great point at which to end what was as fascinating a conversation as I expected it to be, Michiel. So I would like to just remind our audience then that the Gouden Noot will be taking place on next week, 10th of October, 7:30 p.m. Amsterdam time. And we really encourage everyone to tune in to the live feed to see what this very eminent and rigorously held jury has decided is the most important innovation that they've seen this year. And secondly, to remind everyone that the Sustainable Packaging Summit will be taking place on the 12th and 13th of November. We have the aspiration to make this an event that's driven by impact and honest discussions between stakeholders, and really focusing on the strategic challenges and the innovation opportunities that can equip us to make sure that packaging is fit for purpose in the future. And it will also include the awards dinner for our own competition, the Sustainability Awards, of which Michiel is a generous contributor as one of the jury members himself.
With pleasure, Tim, with pleasure.
Thank you. I know it's a lot of work and pain as well as pleasure, but we're very grateful for it.
So many entries, little best people listening to this. It's massive. Good.
Yes, thank you. I always feel guilty when I talk about the amount of work that the judges do, because I have the serene position of being the organizer rather than a judge. But anyway, we will be celebrating, revealing and celebrating the winners of that at the Sustainable Packaging Summit, and also hosting some co-located events, Green Blues Excellent Conference, SPC Engage, the Holy Grail 2.0 member meeting, the European Contract Packer Association conference, and much more. So, and most importantly, you will get to listen to Michiel talking about artificial intelligence on the second day. And finally, to tell you that as listeners to this podcast, we are offering you a 10% discount on tickets, which you can redeem using the code PEPOD10. That's PEPOD10 at the checkout. You can find details of how to reach that through the Packaging Europe website. But for now, thank you, Michiel, for sharing your unique minds and your improvisational abilities with us. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in.
Thank you, Tim. We did exactly 30 minutes.
Organized chaos. Thanks, everyone.